record to the cloud. Hey, Janine, you coming on just reminded me to record this. Thank you. It's been a while since we've seen you. Great to see you. How are you?
Absent. It's good to see you all again.
Oh, good.
Good.
So, Wendy and I were in Viva. I think Wendy's got her business. Her boss is probably wanting her right now, where she would be with us. So Elaine asked for us to give a little rundown of Viva, and I was just talking about the love that was in that space, the acceptance and love, and like you could not make a mistake without nobody even needed to forgive you because it like went in one ear and out the other. It was a phenomenal experience. And I was saying that I had been to a lot of three principals conferences in the past, and I would feel insecure, not because of any of them, but because of my own thinking that I'm not good enough. I'm not, whatever the negative thinking I was doing about myself. Nobody else was doing it. I was doing it, but not at Viva. Is it because I'm just through with criticizing myself? Been there, done that. It's not only is it not necessary, but it's not at all helpful. Now, if you make a mistake and you realize, oh, I could have said that better, or I could have done some, great. Make yourself a note, revisit it as a reflection, not a gentle reflection, not as you bad, Lori, why did you say that? So that was my big takeaway from Viva. Yeah. Whoa, what a difference it makes when I'm not criticizing myself and I'm not on my back, making sure I do everything right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So what does everybody want to do? Do you want to add anything first, Wendy, about your takeaway from Viva?
It was a wonderful time. It was at the end of the month of October was very busy for me. I had two other big events for myself, one with Lori and Jack that I arranged, and then another one with a guy from the United Kingdom who came over here for a weekend retreat. And then I went to Viva, and I was actually, frankly, quite distracted by the impending doom of the elections, and it weighed on me when I was there. But I loved, meeting people. And what I love about all these 3P events is, we had our meetings from like 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. was off. And I just love that. And then we were done by 7:30, 6 to 7:30, and go out for European dinner and all that kind of stuff. So that 4 or 5 hours is crucial to letting things marinate and settle and enjoy connection with other human beings. So I value that greatly about all the 3P events. They're not rushed and corporate and, you know. So yeah, it was a wonderful time, wonderful to meet new people. And as Lori said, Dominic's talk was quite extraordinary, and I can't wait for it to come out when they finally publish all the talks. I'm sure we'll share it with you guys because it was really phenomenal. Which reminds me, Lori, this group on Wednesday, or excuse me, on Tuesdays at noon, there's no more cost to coming in here, right?
Right. Just a donation if people want to donate, but
right. The only
it's
reason
open.
The only reason I'm asking is because I often get asked by people, do you know of anything that's happening? I'd love to talk. I'd love to go in on a conversation, da da da. And I've never ever steered anybody here because it was a membership. I mean, I might have done it like saying, well, if you want, but all the other ones I've ever been involved with haven't been a cost. So I think that there could be an opportunity for more people to kind of enjoy this.
Yeah, be great, Wendy. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it was a membership for about a month. And then
but,
I
but it was
realized
Well, it was a membership, but before that, you had to be a member of mystery school and pay some initial fee to be part of mystery school.
Oh, that's true. Right,
So
right, right,
there's
right.
always been a price tag on it, which is fine. I'm just saying,
Right.
I think that there's opportunity for other people to drop in now, like my friend Cynthia or whatever. I think this is ideal.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you.
Anybody who's got the time midday, and for Janine, it's late in the day. Absolutely. Yeah. People who are my clients, I can bill their insurance company for a 90853, a group session. So that brings in a couple of dollars. I think it's like $20, right? And you know what? I I do this because I want to be with my posse. I want to be with my people
Mhm.
exploring. So I don't really look to make money from it. But people seem to, my understanding of how the world works currently is, and at least it works this way for me, I value things more when there's a price tag to it. And it turns out that people actually value things. The higher the price tag, the more the psychological value is. And it's just a game. It's just a game of, so it was interesting working with Jeannie Verger, who redid my website. We went through a lot of that, how perception. It's all
Yeah.
about perception. But to me, it's about a feeling. Like when I'm here on Tuesdays, it's really, I love the feeling. I look forward to it. I'm doing a program for single people. We had a 6-week program. We had the first Saturday. I loved it. I would pay somebody to be in to do this. That's the feeling.
Yeah. Mhm.
That, yeah, yeah, it's just was so fortunate. I cannot highlight that enough. I really saw that at Viva. Like listening to Derek blew me away, blew me away. You all know Derek Mason, right? He's got dreadlocks and tall, thin. Oh my God, he lights up a room. And he was in prison. He was a bad boy. He
Yep.
was a bad boy because he thought that's who he was.
Mm.
And then he found out through the program Beyond,
Recovery?
no,
Yeah,
what is
beyond
it?
recovery.
Beyond Recovery.
Mhm.
Yes. Um, the one that Jacqueline Hollow started in the UK. Derek is from the UK, lives in the UK. And he caught, not everybody in that program heard, but he and some others did hear. We are not our story. No human. There is no human alive who is their story. Their story is one thing, who they are as essence, as spiritual, um, unbroken. I'm thinking of how Bill puts it, never lacking, never broken. Spiritual beings who are pure consciousness. Now, as humans, we have the ability to create a reality with how we think. We can create some doozies. We can create some doozy realities where we get ourselves all tied in knots. So before we turn on Sid, I'm just wondering, like, who among us has had any insights where you have seen recently, or something that you were reminded of in the past where you saw, man, I really am not my story. I'm so much more than that. I'm spiritual essence with unlimited possibility.
Mhm.
You got a story, Elaine?
Well, just from the experience of having my cataract surgery, I, rather than perseverate and worry, get myself all worked up about it, I just went with it. It was just a very spontaneous and impulsive decision after, I was told that I needed to do this back in March and April, and I put it off and put it off because I just got so scared. It's my eyes, for goodness sake. Like, I need my eyes. Anything else is fine, but my eyes, I can't be without my eyes. So I just got I got myself so worked up. And then one morning I woke up and said, I got to do this. I've known since I was probably 16 that I was going to have this problem. So I just
Oh,
said, I got to do it. I need to see better.
yep.
So I did it and it was wonderful. And the doctor, he even called me the day of. He called me the day of and I was just blown away. Like, oh my God, he's checking up on me the day of.
Wow.
I didn't like him at first because he wasn't answering my questions. And I came to the realization that maybe it was the way that I was asking or maybe I wasn't listening
Wow.
because I was so scared about the idea of doing this. I realized I probably didn't listen.
Interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I could relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so happy for you that you saw through that one.
Yes.
Saw through that one that you really,
Exactly.
and what a lesson for
Yes.
future things. You know, we have to go through stuff in life and how we scare ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
how we create the shadow puppets on the wall, thinking
Yes.
that, oh my God, they're monsters, forgetting that
Right.
we created them.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Elaine. That was a perfect example.
You're so
Janine, you
welcome.
got one for us?
No, I just wanted to ask Elaine, how are your eyes now? How's your
So
eyesight?
it's one eye that I've done so far. This Friday I'll be doing the right one, and my eyesight is 20/24.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I can read the screen.
Okay, good.
I've never been able to read the screen. I can read it now.
Good, good.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Anybody else have something about they worried about, and then once they finally did whatever it was like, oh my God, what was I worried about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think I'm that harsh. I wouldn't, I would say, I don't have a specific example, but maybe years ago, I would say, why was I worried? That was stupid. I wouldn't say that now. I would say more like, wow, if I had just given it a chance or, it will all work out and I will be able to, I faced everything I've ever faced. I guess I'm a little bit more temperate in if I'm afraid of something and I buck up and I go through it and I wouldn't on the other side of it go, well, that was stupid for me to be. I would say, all right, so you were scared about it and you found a way to proceed and I'm glad that it's not nearly as threatening or scary as you thought it was. Right. So yeah, I have, yeah, a lot of those. Like, for instance, something very current. I was convinced in the beginning of November or October, September, given the givens and given that I knew I was reading the news or whatever that said that this election was going to be neck and neck the whole way. So I said to myself, and I said to anybody that would listen, the months of November and December will be like hell, no matter who wins, because the
Mhm.
other side is going to be so pissed and so upset that there's going to be riots in the streets and calls for recounts, and it'll be just one giant shit show. There's no shit show.
Mhm.
None. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean every time I see who President Trump has labeled as the head of the EPA or the head of his national security advisor or the head of his staff, does that mean that I don't go and twitch? Yeah, I twitch. But I'm not afraid to leave my house because I'm going to get an egg in my head or something. I really thought that the months of November and December and January would be filled with upheaval and legal ramifications and all sorts of things. But my Democrats said, we understand the election has been won. Congratulations, and come visit me at the White House next week. Like normal people. I forgot. That's how normal people react. So I'm very happy with that, but I'm not saying, oh, Wendy, you should have known that the Democrats would be good, happy losers. Why did you even bother thinking that it'd be a shit show in November? I didn't go back and do that to myself, but I don't do that.
Right, right. Yeah. I don't know about the rest of you, but I used to do that, like go back and revisit it and slap myself for worrying about something that never came to fruition. So yeah, that's a big point, Wendy, right?
Yeah.
I
That
think it's because
forgiving ourselves.
I think it's because I'm a nurse. I would never want a patient to say woulda, coulda, shoulda. I would never want a patient to say, why did I eat those Big Macs? I wouldn't have had this heart attack. I'd be like, listen, put that 2x4 down, stop it. We're here today. We're taking care of you. We're going to move forward. So I think it's probably my nurse common sense that says, why would I beat myself up over something? I was doing the best I could last Thursday. I was doing the best I could when I ate my cheeseburgers. I was doing the best I didn't say, oh, I hope I eat enough cheeseburgers to have a fucking heart attack. That's not the way I ate my cheeseburgers in the past. I just enjoyed them. But to stand there today and say, I'm such an asshole for eating, I mean, regret. There's a song, regrets. I've had a few. Yeah, there's regrets, but it wasn't because I knew that I was an asshole. I did the best I could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever that was.
Yeah.
Can I say something about that?
No.
It's not my country, but America has a big influence in geopolitics. So I think what's happening in America is really a precursor for a lot of countries in Europe as well. So I'd say you've got your work cut out, and we all have to be vigilant to protect democracy and not become some, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities to the 1930s here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hats
Especially
off,
for women.
Yes.
especially hats off for the people who are representing us. The us,
We have to fight for ourselves.
the people.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
And my cousin's daughter, they're real fighters. They're real, feminist kind of fighters. They're funny. I love them, but they really gravitate towards, "Oh, what's wrong and blah blah blah." So she posted something in Facebook about fuck all this love stuff. I don't want to hear about love. I'm sick and tired about people saying that love trumps all. Fuck it. Look what happened. Yeah, she's going on in her Facebook post. And I just chuckled. There's so much that we don't know. We all think we know our little world, what the stations, the news we listen to. How I've never, ever been able to see separate realities to this degree. Separate realities like my brother, Christine Heath's brother, they are thrilled. They're thrilled. I mean, do we still love our brothers? We don't understand But, and I'm not around him that much, but I will be around him when my nieces are home from college. And I'm just going to get really curious.
Mhm.
But there's nothing to defend. I learned that a long time ago.
Mm.
That for me to give my opinion is anti-listening.
Mm.
Wendy and I, and Janine, you were involved in Copenhagen about deep listening. I never give my opinion anymore unless somebody asks for it.
Mhm.
And then I might say, I'm not sure you really want to know my opinion.
Right.
And if I then give my opinion after being asked, I'm going to really check out how it's landing for the other person. If it triggers them into launching into their opinion, that's not going to benefit either of us. We're not on a debate stage.
Mhm.
It's not going to be beneficial. So I do believe that love trumps all.
Mhm.
In spite of what my second cousin has to say, I think it's going to bring more love, consideration, assistance, helping people, because our hearts go out to the people who are suffering.
Mhm.
Oh, there was a really funny meme that this, the mother of this second cousin, my first cousin, has on her Facebook page is a meme of the Statue of Liberty with her head down, right? The, crown coming out. She's got her head down. She's like in puke green color, and there's beer bottles all around her. She's sitting on the floor, beer bottles all around, and she's smoking cigarettes. Crying. So, there's such a sweetness to me that what we consider to be horrible, awful, terrible, and yet we all gather around in support of one another. I mean, Wendy can speak being a nurse when somebody is on their deathbed or they've really been severely injured, the people come out of the woodwork to be there with them. That to me is, difficulties have happened throughout humanity, throughout the life of humans. My goodness, plagues. They were called plagues in the Bible, right?
Mhm.
And somehow humans survive. So do cockroaches. Right? I mean, there's a big joke about how do cockroaches survive where dinosaurs did not. It's an interesting planet we are on. It
Mhm.
is, oh my God, so interesting. And I want to sit at the foot of a historian. I would love to take a history class to understand. I never took an interest in politics, and I'm going back to not taking an interest in politics. I have to for my own well-being. Like when I'm on the treadmill at the gym, I don't watch TV at home. I'll watch a movie, but I don't watch TV except when I'm on the treadmill because that helps me do my mileage. And you know what? I'd rather watch Law and Order and the
Mhm.
sex crimes of New York City because I know most of it's just a story.
Mhm.
I'd rather watch that than watch the news because I can't, it's just too much for me. And a lot of people are saying that they have to take a fast, a news fast. And that's the beauty of how we're designed. We know how much we can handle.
Mhm.
And when it's not good for us, we get that feeling, nope, I got to change the channel. Bing, bing, bing. We're in more control of our well-being than we allow ourselves to recognize.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I talked way too much, but thank you for letting me get that out of my system. Whatever that was. Wow. Yeah. Melissa, I know that you're helping your mom move, so, but if you want to chime in.
I'm still here, Lori, and everyone.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah,
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
yeah. Good to hear you. Yeah. We're all in this together. I mean, that's, you know, we're all in this soup of thinking. Maybe does Sid have a good thing about separate realities? I'm going to go Google Sid Banks separate realities. Wouldn't that be something?
He does
Sid
have one.
Banks.
I don't know where it is, but I've seen he does have something.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? Wouldn't that be a good thing to watch? Except I don't want to be on Bing. I want to be on Chrome. I like Chrome. No, I'm there. Okay. And I want Sid Banks separate realities. Here we go. Bada boom, bada bing. February 21, 2023. And he's got one from 2022. So let's listen. It's 24 minutes. There's one that's 8 minutes. That's in 2022. Let's listen to that one. And then next week, stop. Share. I'm getting better at this, Wendy. Share with sound. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, first we're gonna see the ad.
That the best way to activate the law of attraction is not by using the 369.
You know how we see different realities? Here's something somebody told me a long time ago. We make it
Can't hear
very,
it.
very complicated.
Yeah, I noticed that. Adding the sound louder. Sound. Okay, that's loudest.
Instead of simple.
So soft, isn't it?
Here's an example. Now this is
Yeah.
only an example.
It's soft for me as well. And I did share. I'll stop share just to make sure I added which I did. Yeah, I had add sound added.
Huh.
Share sound. Optimized for video viewing. Maybe I'll check that one too and see if that helps. If not, we'll go to the longer one and just watch
A few
a
minutes.
portion
Okay.
of it. Some of the recordings I noticed come through louder than others. Music.
You know how we see different realities? Here's something somebody told me a long time ago.
It's too soft for me. Is it soft for all of you?
Yeah.
And
It's not very
now
loud.
it's soft. I stopped it. I stopped it so I could hear from you guys.
We cannot hear it.
Well, I'm not playing it right now. So let me know if you hear it. Here we go.
We make it very, very complicated instead of simple. Now, here's an example. Now, this is only an example. You know the well-known detective, the English detective Sherlock Holmes, and his friend?
Oh, this is a very funny story. Can you guys hear it?
Very softly.
Very softly. Yeah. So I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to go to the other one, which hopefully the sound is stronger. Let's see. Sid Bank, separate realities, 24 minutes.
pretty good.
You know how we see different realities? Here's something somebody taught me a long time ago. We make it very, very complicated instead of simple. Now, here's an example. Now, this is only an example. You know the well-known detective, the English detective Sherlock Holmes, and his friend Dr. Watson. They had just broke a big case. And they're tired, decide they're going to go to the countryside and have a rest. They're going to go camping. So off they go to the moors of England, and they set up their camp, get all ready. They go to bed, and through the night, Sherlock Holmes wakes up, and he goes like this to his buddy, and he says, Watson, wake up. Watson says, what is it? He says, I want you to look up and see what you see. So Watson looks up and he says, oh, I see a beautiful, clear moonlight sky with unbelievable millions of stars. He says, I see the Little Dipper, the Big Dipper. I see the moon and I see this and that. He says, and beyond it, he says there's galaxies we've never seen before, and he goes on for about 20 minutes explaining all the galaxies and everything about it. And finally he stops, and he says to Sherlock Holmes, what do you see, Holmes? He says, elementary, my dear man. Somebody has stolen our tent. Keep it simple. You know how I keep saying to you, please don't listen to my words. Please don't do it. Try and listen to what the words are trying to convey. That's the most important thing. Because when you start to talk truth, you have no other choice but to talk in metaphors. And a metaphor is trying to describe the undescribable. Do not listen to the word. It's the same if you go to church, and I don't care what church you belong to. If you go to your church, when the minister, the priest, the rabbi, or whatever is speaking, don't listen to his words. Try and listen beyond the word, beyond the metaphor, to what the truth really means. It's the meaning beyond the word. Because truth has no form. It's formless. It's before the creation of this physical reality. So remember, we all live in separate realities, and that's really a very important thing to remember, because you can listen to whatever a friend is saying to you. Not what you think, but what they think. And when you start listening to what people really say, you'll be very, very surprised the beauty that lies behind the word, what they're trying to convey. Always look for the beauty. Always look for what you call love, because love is a neutral mind which is in the state of the impersonal. And when you're in the state of the impersonal, you're not judging. And that is the most incredible state in this world to be in. You know, when you first meet somebody and you fall in love, and you think, wow, what a beautiful looking person. I really want to get to know them. And you fall in love. You're in the impersonal because you're not judging. And you get married. And you go from the impersonal to the personal. And that's a big mistake. Because then you start judging again. You get fed up judging, you get fed up with the negativity, you go back into the impersonal again and you think, now why was I angry at my wife or my husband? Because I see them as beautiful again. Now your mind is just jumping back and forth and you're using thought, and that rudder is leading you the wrong way. You've hit the rocks. You don't like that. So you turn the rudder again, you get off the rocks, you get into the sea where it's calm, where you see love and understanding. You're back on an even keel, you're back in the now, and you're happy. Thought is one of the main principles that take you through life. They're your guide. Change your thoughts, your world will change immediately. You can prove that anytime you want. You know, when you're in a bad mood, you're angry, you're hostile, you're absolutely put off with life. Life stinks. It's not worth living. You go to bed and you wake up and something's happened. The sun's shining. Everything's nice. The whole world has changed. You feel good. You feel happy. The world hasn't changed. All it's changed is your thoughts.
Nó giận nó point diện mẹ cho point cho đây là gan.
Ah, almost like I'm sitting in that audience.
I like how he's sort of chuffed about telling the joke and the whole audience laughs.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
took me a while. I think I heard it a few times before I realized what he was talking. Look up, Watson. Oh, meanwhile, the tent was stolen. That's why you're seeing all that. Really funny. Where did he get those stories from? Really, really funny. Yeah, I mean, that's separate realities, right? They're seeing different things. One sees a stolen tent, the other one sees the beauty of the universe.
So, a few months ago now, but right after I went to Sweden, it became clear that I have Hashimoto's, an autoimmune disease. So, and there is still some debate over whether I should take medication for that. That's still up in the air. So, but I wanted to be able to do something about it. So I'm looking into adding specific movements and focusing on sleep, and also about diet. Because I was overweight, I thought it's good to lose weight. You know, overall, that's a good idea. So I am now trying to eat gluten-free and soy-free, and no added sugar, no dairy, no caffeine, no alcohol. So that's a lot of no-nos. And it would be very easy for me to get all caught up in all the things I cannot eat anymore. And there are moments where I still do, because it's very convenient to go to the supermarket and just grab some bags or packaging. But they always have gluten or soy or added sugars or the things I don't want to eat. So it's been a whole journey of discovery to find out what I can eat and what is practical. So because I like to eat well, but I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen and preparing a lot of stuff. I want my dinner to be ready very quickly and not have a lot of hassle about what to buy in the grocery store and what foods to eat. So yeah. But overall, so Say was talking in the video of you always have the opportunity to change your mind. So that's what's been happening to me a lot these last few months. Actually, it's not really, but for the moments that it did come up, like, should this really be for the rest of my life? Really? Because I just want to get my antibodies to go very low because they're really high right now. So it becomes sort of in remission. So then I can build up from there again. Yeah. So yeah, it's more fun to focus on the new discoveries. So I found this really great recipe of taking split peas or split lentils and then soaking them in boiling water and then blending them and then cooking them, and they become this sort of tofu. And if you go to the supermarket, there's always these herbs that you can use to flavor meats. And I've discovered that if I add those to those herbs to my split peas, they actually taste like meat. You can when they become firm, you can sort of cut them up in blocks and then fry them in the air fryer. And that's really great. It's really like meat. So yeah.
Oh, wow. I love your attitude about it. Instead of immersing yourself in woe is me, you actually opened up to this creative solution.
Yeah. The only thing I'm
How
struggling
cool.
with is how do I find a way that is not determining everything in life, because it does right now, because it's quite a big change. I was already well on my way because I was eating plant-based anyway, but this is quite specific, so yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You know, if you want to stay on a little beyond, it's 1 o'clock now. I'm happy to share with you what I learned through my discovery. And also the foods that you're able to eat are very much in alignment with my foods. And I've been doing this for 1.5 years and I love it. I love it. I don't even like the foods that I'm not supposed to eat anymore. Really interesting how taste
Yeah,
buds change. So
Yes.
if you have the time, I'm happy to stay on with you a little bit and talk, share some more about that. Anybody who wants to,
I'm gonna go.
you gotta
Yes.
But yeah,
go.
thank you for Sid. Sid's always a
Oh,
lift.
before you go though, tomorrow is the day we were put aside to start the book club.
Yeah,
Can everybody make it? We're starting with, and I'll also record it. We're
Yep.
starting with Beyond Diagnosis tomorrow at 1 o'clock, same
Yep.
station.
same
I'll
station.
be
All right.
there.
I'll be there
Same time or an hour later?
an hour later.
1 o'clock,
Okay.
1 hour later. Yeah.
I might be able
Thanks,
to make
Wendy.
it. I'm not
1 o'clock.
sure. I will see.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
See you then. See you
Bye.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Janine, I don't know if you saw when I was in Sweden with you, right? So I don't know if you saw in Sweden, I had this piece of paper with everything I can eat. I was bringing it to meals, like if I went to
Oh,
a
yeah. No,
restaurant or
that's cool. I
something.
didn't notice that. Yeah.
It's so simple. And you know what this happened because I had a sudden weight gain.
Oh, yeah,
15 to 20 pounds, and it was all in my middle. And,
yeah.
I was getting ready to say, well, I guess this is what happens when you turn 70. But that's not true.
Uh-huh.
It was a methylation issue.
Yeah, yeah,
So the fact that, the Hashimoto's could actually, that's what it is you have?
Mm.
Yeah. That could actually be a great thing for you because we need a diagnosis in order to know what's right for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this was discovered through blood work, strictly through blood work for me. And I'm on your diet with the exception of I was plant-based and I need to have meat. I've
Mm,
been plant-based since I was 27.
right.
That's a long time. Like I would barely even eat turkey. Well, I would
Yeah.
have to because it was Thanksgiving. So I would eat turkey, and to me it was so dry and awful. I'm eating deli turkey every day. They slice it up at the deli department, right? So I'm really happy with the foods I'm eating. When I would go to like an art opening, they would be carrots and celery and apples and cheese and crackers. I would go immediately to the cheese and crackers without a thought. And
Mhm.
now, because that's not on my list of good foods to eat when you're low methylation, I find out I love the other food is so much fresher. It's
Yeah.
not pulverized or whatever that's called, And it was like the greatest discovery for me to gain that weight. Because now I'm eating in a way that is best for me, for my system. And
Mhm.
it's more enjoyable. I like it. And I found, just like you found that incredible recipe that you made. Do you know that I mail order bread? It's gluten-free bread that's made by a woman who became gluten intolerant, and she could not find a decent bread. You won't believe, if you know the US equivalent, $25 for a
Yeah.
loaf of bread I pay.
It's
And
freaking
it's so worth
expensive.
it to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's also been a discovery, trying out new things, and you pay a fortune for those things. So, and uh, I think I mentioned that in my work, I've been designing a program called Cooking Within Budget. So there's a lot
Yes,
of people living below the or on the poverty line. Well, not like living on the dole. I'm not sure how you call it, living on. And so they really struggle. So they might
yes,
have a year subscription to the food bank, and many of them, because financial difficulty, it can also be tied to low literacy. So I designed a program for low literates where they can learn about health skills, like instead of meat, you can eat more fiber in the form of legumes and peas and lentils, and they're much cheaper. So, because I'm doing this diet, I also made a few recipes like the one I described just now, and I added that to the program. So, a colleague of mine, because I'm ill, I work half time. So, my colleague is now doing that course for the first time. So, there's another person doing my course. And so I'm really curious. She said, "Oh, but we don't have people with gluten intolerances." I said, "Just share it because it means they get more fiber. So it's a good and it's cheaper. So just give them as an
yes,
extra recipe and they'll be good."
yes. And it's cheaper.
Yeah,
Exactly. What a discovery.
yeah, it's
Here
good.
also, Janine, the same thing, the people with diabetes, the
Yeah,
people who are
actually,
obese, who I
everyone.
see them in Walmart, their cart is filled with all the inexpensive Cheetos and chips and anything they can afford, and it's all terrible food for them. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a national program, what you're creating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. For many people, this is beneficial. Yeah. So, yeah.
You could do a whole cookbook, the healthy cookbook. Oh, the low cost healthy cookbook.
Yeah, they might
That's
become a program.
incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the original program was invented in Arnhem. And when the war in the Ukraine started, the cost of living started to rise, especially gas prices, and especially people with really, really low income started to really, really suffer. So, because of my line of work, we are in a collective with all kinds of uh, institutions that work with people with low income, like debt collectors, the town council, food banks, food gardens, us as a library, working with low literacy programs, schools, all kinds of institutions that are connected due to poverty. Like there's women who can't afford the tampons and stuff when they get their periods. So we as a library provide those kinds of products. So if somebody goes to our toilet, they can take packaging home. So, because many girls or women miss out on school a couple of days a month, or because of work, because they can't afford those kinds of things. So when that came up, I thought food is always a big connector, right? People, um, it's like social glue. And so I thought we should use that as a sort of camouflage course because it's way more motivating for people to work on food and then implicitly work on calculations, right? You have a recipe for one person, but there's 4 persons now. So how much do you actually have to weigh now? How much butter do you have to use? So I started looking. So I found a program in Arnhem, and they are from the Arnhem library. So I emailed them, and the woman said, "Oh, you're from the library too. Here's the program." But she gave me a very like a concept where names of recipes were mentioned, but then when you hear, "Oh, we're gonna cook coq au vin," you have no idea how much chicken, or how much stock, or what ingredients, or how many, or so I sort of revamped their program and made it my own. Yeah, so but when I talked to the lady in Arnhem and I told her what I'd made, she said, "Oh, wow, that sounds really great. Maybe we should send it to the National Library so they can make it into a national program for cooking within budget." So it might just happen. So it's very interesting for me that my colleague is now working on my idea. I have done a pilot last year and she's doing a program right now. And so the findings, I will implement them in our program and then send our ideas to Anem and see what they make of it.
Wow. That's remarkable.
Mhm.
I'm sorry that you had to get, this illness, but it's curable, right? When you,
Yeah, so you can get it in remission. It's not curable. I mean, it's an autoimmune disease, but what you can do is make sure that the autoimmune responses sort of disappear. So you can try and reduce stress, you can eat healthy, make sure you sleep well, get enough water, get enough movement, do strength training, that sort of thing. And then that way you can limit the what do you call that again? The autoimmune responses, the things that trigger, so your blood values stay sort of level. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, there was a big insight I had during at some point. Well, I know when. It was in a one-to-one conversation I had with another participant
Mm.
about there are no mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There are no mistakes, but only 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of got that. Yeah, there are no mistakes. I mean, my God, the synchronicities of things, blah, 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 blah. But I never saw it to this level. Literally, there are no mistakes because you could trace everything. And my God, if that didn't happen, this wouldn't happen.
Mm.
You're going to be part of a national dietary program. Like,
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm still doing my own thing. But the idea is that we share our findings with Anim, and who knows what's happening. People have mentioned it. If it is actually happening, I'm not sure. But so far, people have been really, really interested. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
as
even if
well,
it doesn't go past
yeah.
your little world, which it more than likely will, you've already made so many inroads, but even if it doesn't go past your community, it's already like, man, that had to happen. You had to get that
Yeah, yeah,
diagnosis
yeah.
in order.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, last year I did a program with the first group. And one of the participants, the first class, I asked people, when you get back home, please make a photograph or write down what you have in your cupboard, stored in your cupboard and in your fridge. Because for us, it was interesting to see what people actually have in their house food-wise. And like you just mentioned, the people that go to the supermarket and you see their carts, how they fill them up with cheap shit. Um, there was one guy who all he had in his home were jars with chicken tonight. That's some sort of sauce. You add chicken fillet and some rice, and you're done. It's a very quick meal, but in this jar, there's a lot of food colorations and E numbers and all kinds of stuff, sugar, stuff you don't want in there. And um, the first week we made four kinds of recipes, and one of them was making a smoothie with spinach and banana. And so I took a lot of equipment with me from my own house. Like I have a juicer, slow juicer, and I have a blender, and I have an instant pot. So I took these devices to the course so people could just try, right? And because we encourage people to save money every week, like he said he would do groceries for 60 euros a week. So we said, so this is cooking within budget. The idea is that you set yourself a new budget with which you can save money. And he says, I'm up for the challenge. I'm gonna try and do my groceries for 40 euros a week. And we thought, wow, that's quite yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, he was very, and he actually did. And so we asked him, so that would mean that for the coming 7 weeks, you would save 20 euros a week. So at the end, you would have 140 euros. What do you want to do with that money? And he said, I'm going to have a tribal tattoo. And one of the
Oh,
volunteers that was also participating in the program, she nearly fell off a chair because she was so appalled by what he was saying. But you know, it's his life. He's an adult man. And so when the course ended, he did actually get a tribal. But I think half 6 months later, I called them and asked them, how are you still doing? Are you still using some of the recipes? Are you still saving money? How are you faring? And he said, yeah, I'm still trying to save money. And I've got my third tribal now. And I've also got a blender, and I use it every day.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
so where there's chicken tonight, he's also now adding, instead of eating bread in the morning, he would now do a smoothie with veggies and fruit. So that
Isn't
might
that
seem a
great?
small thing, but if that's 30%, 35%-ish of your day, that's an increase in veggies. And over time, I think those little things, adding the good stuff so the negative becomes obsolete, is very important.
Oh, that's
Because
so
like
great.
I have the same thing. When you add in the good stuff, you don't really, become less interested in all the cheese with crackers and stuff.
Right. Right. Cheese and crackers taste to me like styrofoam now.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah, interesting.
I have zero interest. Or cardboard.
Mm,
Cheese is like styrofoam and the crackers are like cardboard.
mm.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's so wild
Do you
how our
remember
tastes change.
do you remember the German girl that was also in Sweden? What was her name again? She had this sort of strawberry blonde. She was with curls. What was her name? She was from Germany. She also has Hashimoto's, because at the time we were going to the shopping malls or to the supermarket to buy food there, and we cooked together. The guy from Sweden, oh shoot, I can't remember their names. Um, yeah, it's good.
Oh, remember that. You were all in the kitchen cooking. Yeah, that
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
out
yeah,
so well.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I got to get going, Janine, but what a
Mm,
great story. I just love how you um took lemons and made lemonade,
yeah,
right?
I'm trying to, yeah. And
You
there
know
are
that
days where I'm
story?
really,
I mean, do they say that where you are
yeah,
taking
no,
lemons?
we know that saying because we watch a lot of American things, so it's quite familiar. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, it's so great to see you.
Yeah, you
And
too.
you'd never know that you had something that you have to eat a certain way to make up for, but it's good.
Mm,
It's healthy. It's good. Yeah. And you get this time off to create this new program. I mean,
yeah.
that's a miracle.
I gained 26 kilograms, so that's what, 51 pounds?
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Since
So
I saw you
yeah,
in
no, no,
Sweden?
no, right before. So I was at my biggest then. So I weighed almost 90 kilograms. And I've now lost 7 kilos, so 14 pounds. Yeah. So, but
Wow.
finally, the needle is moving back to my normal weight. So I
Oh,
still got a long
wow.
way to go, but because for the last 4 or 5 years, whatever I did, nothing, it only kept creeping up, creeping up, creeping up, no matter what I did. Yeah, so I'm really happy that the needle is now moving at least into the right direction, even though it's slow.
Yes. Yes. Well, when I saw you, you must have had good clothing because I didn't notice
No,
too.
but
You look like you were normal weight. You're tall. I noticed
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely overweight. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Well, you're doing everything to get back into a healthy
right.
place. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm.
Yay. So good to see you. And I'm going to see you tomorrow at the book club.
I try my best to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Try your best. If not, we'll have it recorded. Yeah.
Great.
Exciting.
Is that the same link as today?
Same link. Yeah. Exactly.
great. All right.
Keep it
Okay,
simple. I like keeping it simple.
that's right. All right.
All
Well
right.
then, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye, Janine.